Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of musical, audio and visual elements of the videos that I watch. And today I'm bringing a new solo artist onto the channel, although we have seen him in his group, or at least the group he used to be a part of, and that is Avi Kaplan, formerly of Pentatonics. And I've been meaning to bring him onto the channel for a little while, and I'm excited to do so now. I do have a couple of recommendations of places to start with Avi, but honestly I went onto his channel and saw the title Peace Somehow appear on my sort of recommendations, and it also is it's his newest song, so it popped up as having been released just a month ago, and my brain went, yeah, that's about where my mind is right now, so let's do that one, which is my sole reason for picking it. But I don't know where the song goes, but that title alone is what I wish right now. So it seemed like a good one to pick. I know nothing about this song, really, so I don't have an awful lot to say. I believe it's an Avi original, and besides that, yeah, I'm kind of coming in blind on this entire thing. Avi, obviously, as I said, I know from Pentatonics. You can check out Pentatonics reactions. I'll put a link up here, so you can go and see my Pentatonics reactions. And I don't really have much more to say about it. Check down below in the description. You'll see a link to the original video. Please do check it out. You probably check that out before you watch this. And do support Avi. And without much more to say about this thing, I'm just going to say welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way this works, I'm going to watch this video through from beginning to end. I will comment and emote over the top of that. I will then go back and watch it a second time, this time pausing and interrupting and offering what commentary and analysis I feel I can, based on what I've just seen and heard and the foreknowledge of that one prior viewing. I do also apologise as I film this. I'm filming a couple of videos in quick succession here. I am still in the midst of my cold. It's moved on since my last video, but it's definitely still there. So if I sound a bit gummy, I'm sorry. Please do hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. And if you'd care to support me, you can do so by heading to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts to, my brain just went, Patreon, there we go, patreon.com/DavidKReacts, or by leaving a super thanks here on YouTube. And I would like to say a huge thanks to Karina Rodebeck, who just contributed to my wish list on Buy Me a Coffee for my Adobe Premiere subscription. I have a very short temporary one, but I unfortunately lost mine when I moved away from my previous job. And I want to get it back because I want to keep up the quality of these videos, and I'm familiar with this software and can do it that way. So thank you, Karina, for the contribution. I really appreciate that. That's about it. So without much more to do, I'm just going to say that without any further delay, let's go ahead and watch Avi Kaplan's Peace Somehow. Ooh, I like this start.
On the mountain.
Okay. Hi, Avi.
In the trees, flow with the river, fly on the breeze.
This is awesome.
Sunlight peeking through the rain. Take the toil and the pain. Breathe in, breathe out. Find the peace somehow.
This is really cool. I love his resonance, and the depth of his voice goes so well with the accompaniment.
It is calling through the wind on the pine. Heal the heart, free the mind.
Oh, that's awesome. I was wondering what was going to happen there. Cool effect, but cool musical effect too.
Breathing find the peace somehow.
Ooh, this is... Whoa. That blur tricked my eyes for a second. Oh, I love that upper line. Oh, the real bass harmonies there.
Sunlight peeking through the rain. Take the toil and the pain. Breathe in, breathe out.
I love how simple he's kept the melody for this. It's really captivating.
Somehow.
Yes! That's a great piece of music. I really enjoy what he did with that because it's this very simple melody. It probably only touches on 4 or 5 notes for the majority. There's almost more going on in the accompaniment. There isn't quite, but there's almost more going on in the accompaniment than there is in what he's actually performing. But it fits so well with the tone of voice that he's using, with the tone of the video as well. There's something very kind of meditational about it. I love this kaleidoscopic effect he's gone for throughout. But it also has this kind of undertone of a little bit of country, almost, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the vibe I'm getting. Country music is I have nothing against it. It's just lesser known to me. I don't have as much to draw on, but that's the vibe I'm going. But he also has this fascinating kind of drone-like quality because he's hitting that low note. I need to find out what that is because he sits down there a lot. But he's hitting that low note consistently throughout. It's almost like there's a didgeridoo playing or something like that. Like it's got that vibe of this long pedal note that just keeps repeating throughout the piece, which is really effective. Let's go back. I'm going to just run back to the top, but I'm also going to have a quick glance and see if there's anything in the description. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so firstly, this is a Matula production, which is Anthony and Laura Matula, who did a lot of the sort of overhead direction and all that sort of thing on the video, which is fantastic. I do have to give a shout out. Hold that thought. I have to give a shout out to Sonny Walters, who did a few things, but amongst other things was the florist. The floral presentation in this is gorgeous. The color scheme, these sort of straws, reds, whites, yellows. It's such a beautiful color palette that's being used in this video. Really, really impressed. Lots of people involved on the video side of things, but I do also I took note that Avi himself, along with Guthrie Brown and Reed Leslie, seemed to do all of the the audio elements, with just the mastering being done by somebody else. Kudos on that. The production on the audio of this is phenomenal, and to have that consistent bass the whole way throughout and not have it sound muddy at all, very, very impressed. Yeah, let's watch this through again and see what I pull out. Okay, my usual couple of seconds stop. I love that we start with just this guitar. I should say, when I say audio is done by those three, that includes the instruments. I love that we start with Guthrie's guitar here, and it just snaps open onto this tableau of Avi sitting in and amongst the straw and the dried flowers that are here. This is it's such a beautiful setup, and actually, also kudos to the selection of the color behind this kind of robin's egg blue effect that we've got going on back here. That is the perfect color to go behind this image. This is such precise selection has gone on in creating the image that we see in front of us right now, and it's phenomenal. And I love that we get just Avi sitting there, hands folded, eyes closed. It gives a very peaceful vibe, which is what this song is going for, but not just peaceful. And I think that those two together make for a very potent message, and I love that this is how we start out. It's such a strong start to something that doesn't have, that has a few minutes of instrumental, a few seconds of instrumental before Avi actually starts singing and delivering the vocal message that goes there. This is great. It's such a simple da-da, boom, 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 boom. Just that octave jump. It's such a simple start. And the da-da-da, just the minor seventh there that just kind of leads you up into that octave jump. It is really, really smart. It's very simple. It's very open. It leaves so many places to go. And yet it delivers a vibe. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. There's an atmosphere set by the tone of everything we're seeing and hearing, and that's a really strong start.
High on the mountain.
And then the tone that Avi comes high on the mountain. Oh, I didn't find out what that note was. Give me a hot second. Okay, so he's sitting pretty consistently on a B1. That's the mountain high. There's your F sharp on the mountains. That's a B1 he's sitting on. I don't know what's coming out right now. This cold has absolutely murdered my perception of my own voice. But he's sitting consistently on B1s and doing a really solid job of keeping them there. But this da 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 da, just those four notes that are there, bracketing this B minor chord of the B, the D, and the F sharp, and then there's just the E as a passing note as he comes down. Such a simple start, so very effective, and it makes a statement by its depth alone. If you've never heard Avi sing before, this is going to be a real shock. But even if you have, to have him start with this enormous depth immediately is very strong.
On the mountain. Deep in the tree.
And then deep. Is that D? Yeah, the D, and then just straight back down to the B1 and just sits on it. And that's what's giving it this drone, this pedal note feel that's going on. And it's so effective because it really kind of pulls, you're compelled to listen to the extraordinary notes that you're hearing come out of his mouth. It's wonderful.
Deep in the tree.
And the drop-off tree. No, I can't do that. But the fact that he's trees, and it kind of fades almost into the S. It's just very, very subtle there. I love that use of just pulling back. The control that he has to do that so smoothly is remarkable.
Deep in the tree. Flow with the river.
I like his punctuation and enunciation flow. I'm going to go up because that's hurting me to stay down there right now. Flow with the river, the river. There's a gap between rit and ver, and it just gives it this little bit of enunciation, this little sort of, it's almost like a hit that just brings the attention to something slightly different. Very effective.
With the river.
And it's with the river, flow up, up. It's almost like waves kind of bouncing on the wave tops. Really cool.
Flow with the river. Fly on the breeze.
And it's almost like fly on the breeze. You would expect to be this very light, lilting sound, and yet it's this depth of this B1 again, just kind of permeating the whole song. This is so, so powerful, because there's nothing light about it. It's not like you imagine floating through this that's going on down there. It's a very different sound, but it's very, very effective.
Sunlight peeking through the rain.
Again, not particularly complicated. Sunlight peeking through the rain. Oh, it's not quite right, but he's got a little bit more in there. But it's very simple. There's not too many notes there. I love the addition of that drum as the entry to this.
Sunlight.
And you hear just that additional guitar coming in the background. So you've got one plugged-in guitar, which is the one playing this ostinato that we're hearing, and then you hear the acoustic guitar coming behind. Ostinato, incidentally, the name for a pattern that repeats through the majority of a song. So the fact that we have this da-dum, dum, 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 da-dum, dum, it just keeps going. That's what an ostinato is.
Sunlight peeking through the rain.
And now you have him doubling himself up the octave, which is really powerful because he keeps the lower. What's nice, he doesn't go, oh, let's bring in this more powerful, higher sound. He keeps the lower him, this doesn't work because there aren't many of them on screen. Normally when I'm watching a video, say for example I just did one of Jeff Castellucci's videos, there were 4 of him on screen, I would talk about Prime Jeff as the Jeff who's kind of like the key singer of that song. Doesn't quite work because there's only one Avi, but Prime Avi, audibly speaking, is still the forefront, despite the fact he's sitting at the bottom. And you might expect that to say, well, that means he's behind the one who's on top of him. Of course, that's not what Avi's doing here. And so he lets that one sit just slightly behind in the arrangement. It's very, very effective.
Sunlight peeking through the rain.
And I love this slow introduction of these kaleidoscopic repeating patterns of the grasses or the corn or whatever it is that's coming around the outside, because the way it fades in from behind him, I thought for a hot second until the pattern came into view it was going to be sunlight. Like I thought there was going to be this reveal of bright light behind him, because that's kind of the vibe that gives you, and then you realize actually this is what it's actually appearing as, which is extremely effective. And there's not, I'm not in any way saying, oh, there should have been sunlight. No, there shouldn't have been at all. But I love the fact that it gives you that hint as it fades into being.
Peeking through the rain. Take the toll and the pain.
Oh, that's so nice in there. There's that breathy in the background there. That's lovely, because the breath in, unnecessary, you don't need to hear that, but it draws the ear to the fact that there is this little embellishment harmony line that's going on in the background that you might not otherwise pick up on, because this arrangement is so kind of clean that having these little moments, they might be obvious. It's obviously can't say what it would be like without that breath there to draw the attention to it. It might have been obvious, it might not have been. I like the fact that the attention is drawn, and it makes you go, oh, there's a thing happening. That's really nice.
Breathe in, breathe out, find the peace somehow.
I really love the way that the camera is moving throughout this. We've had this incredibly slow push in, and now it's just ever so slightly pulling out. And on top of that, these kaleidoscope rings are pulling out faster, so we're getting this sort of accordion effect going on slightly that tricks the eye ever so slightly as to what's happening. Very, very effective. And it's just it means that there is always motion in the video, but it never draws away from what's going on, which I think is really, really nice, because there's such a solid focus. The focus of this song is absolutely laser pointer, and you don't want to pull away from that, and he doesn't at any point with anything that he's doing. The man has barely moved a muscle. Like his upper half shifts a little bit as he's breathing and things like that, but I don't think his feet or hands have moved since this shot began. Really nice stuff.
Spirit is calling through the wind on the pine.
Oh, and he's got just the right amount of texture to the voice. I think he's probably double tracked himself. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a little bit of weight to it. It's filled out just a little bit, and it's giving this vibe of this really kind of, this is a spirit of the earth talking, right? That's what I'm getting here. It's extremely grounded. Very, very, very effective for this song. Oh, that is so good. I love that we just leave free the mind. Free the mind is the moment everything drops away and you just have that instruction to do that left. Heal the heart. Music heals the heart. So the music carries on. Free the mind. Blankness. Like that sense that there's nothing there anymore except this one thing to focus on to help you calm the inner turmoil kind of thing. That is so effective. And then we get that. I love that the drum is obviously being played with a soft beater. It's not being played with something hard, because you'd get a much heavier attack. Be more of a doom rather than this kind of boom that we're getting, which is really, really nice, because then when we have this boom, 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 it doesn't feel like it's broken the moment of calm that was created by everything falling away. It's just leveling up from it and moving on, which I really, really like. And the fact that we have that on-beat push-in of the camera, like kind of snap cutting, closer and closer in on Avi is just absolutely spectacular. It's really good. I just want to jump back over the whole thing. I love also, it's just mind. There's no drum hit on that downbeat to kind of signal the cutoff of the music. It's just free the mind. Everything stops just before M of mind. Really, really nice choice there, because it makes it just, it's almost more stark not having had that beat, because you kind of expect that. And it really, really nice. Sunlight peeking through the rain. And the camera immediately, having had these 5 push-ins, immediately starts that slow pull-out again. Really, really effective. Take the toll and the pain. Breathe out. I think the harmony is fuller now as well, that's going on in the background. That's kind of going in the background there. It feels fuller. That might just be a trick of the ear, because we had that quiet section a minute ago. That is something that can happen, is if you pull something away and then bring back in exactly what you had, it might feel bigger because you've just had that moment with less. So I'm not 100% sure, but I really like the effect that he's created here with the fullness of this harmony behind him, and yet this focus again on the tone of the voice that's actually singing this song to you. Find the peace somehow. Yeah, there's about 1.5 seconds in the middle of this transition where my eyes can't quite figure out what's going on. But I like the fact, again, everything's on beat. So on that beat, the camera, the image starts to rotate. And I like the fact, I often don't like rotation because I get dizzy extremely easily. English, David. But I like the fact this rotation, it started out like it was jarring because of how suddenly it starts, but it is slow enough that you kind of get the vibe he's going for, this kind of gentle turning, but it's not distracting. And it kind of, I love the fact that as it goes further and further through, it becomes more and more blurred. And again, that doesn't happen too quickly. So it allows the eye to very easily take in what's going on. I also like the fact that Prime Avi, as in the singer, you hear that as he takes the breath in there, but it's very clear, even though it's very blurry, we can see that the Avi that we're seeing on screen does not open his mouth. So this is now, very much the inner spiritual world, or whatever it is he's representing here. But it's clear that he has not made that movement himself, and I like that touch. I love this. No, I don't have my top range either. The really, really nice line just going on up the top there. That's really beautiful. It's a perfect little sort of descant to go with what he's doing underneath. Doesn't detract, just adds a little extra texture up in the top end, which is really lovely because there's not a lot of top end in this song, which is fine. But it's nice to fill it just for a second. I also like the fact that they've done this rotational blur, so even though everything is blurred, you can make out the hands more clearly because they're in the center of the frame, and you can see that that's what's going on here. This effect that they've created. It's really, really nice, actually. And the choice there to switch from this to and now all of a sudden you've got this much more open, broad sound producing this. It sounds a little bit more aggressive. Not in a big way, but it's definitely wider than it was before. And there's almost like a whoom in the effect that comes with it. I wonder if he did do a hoa there, just to give that little bit of an increase in sound. Really effective. And back to the ums for the remainder. The two hoa, kind of like the two horn calls, and then back to the peaceful sound. This is so cool. The texture he's playing with here is extraordinary. And he does the most movement he's almost done all video with this nodding of his head while he's the most blurred, but also slowly coming back into focus at this point. Legs and arms still pretty much have not budged.
Sunlight leaking through the rain.
And again, perfectly on beat. That rotation stops and we start the slow pull out once more.
Take the toll and the pain. Breathing.
Oh, listen to how complicated that harmony is behind him now. There's so much going on. And all the while, you've got this ostinato going on. It's evolved a couple of times, but this ostinato continuing on that plugged-in guitar and the acoustic behind it, and it's just supporting the whole way through, while the voices come and go behind him and flesh out this harmony and pull it back again. It's remarkable. Lovely, and left a decent amount of time after that final note before we cut to black, which I always appreciate. I love how it's the da dun 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 da da. It's not just it dun dun bum, and like it ends on the bottom note or something. It finishes that little phrase off, or kind of begins the next one. But that ba da, that resolution from the minor seventh up to the tonic is what we get as the last thing that we hear. And I love the fact that he drifts away earlier, closes his eyes again, either finding or more likely having already found that piece You could kind of perceive it both ways, the way that this is presented, as either I have found the piece, or I'm working really hard to find the piece, and I'm kind of working with my own instructions. Regardless, this is gorgeous. What a fantastic video for a really, really beautiful song, and such a great demonstration of what Avi is capable of with his bass register. I don't know if that was a good place to start for Avi. I know I can't remember the name of the song. Change on the Rise was given to me by a couple of folks as being a good place to start for Avi. I don't know if this was a good place to start per se, but it was certainly an exciting one. That's an extraordinarily cool video for, advice we could all take. Take a step back every now and then and do some healing and focus on your own mind and breathe in, breathe out, find that peace. You won't hear any argument from me. I'm very bad at doing that. My life is very go, 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 go. And I think this is something I should probably start doing now and then, just for my own benefit, if nothing else. That truly is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Avi's voice is stunning. I knew that already from the work I've heard with Pentatonics, but now I hear him do his own thing. It's incredible. I really, really enjoyed what he did with this, and I think that's an excellent video all round. Yeah, really, really enjoyed. I'm going to go back and listen to that again and watch that again and kind of take it in. And, I could see that being something I would listen to while meditating as well. It's absolutely got that vibe to it. So I'm, excuse me. My voice is starting to get a little sore, so I'm glad I'm at the end of the video. I didn't want to do any injustice to Avi, but I got through it. I am going to stop now, just because I don't want my voice to give out on me. But I really, really enjoyed that, and I'm really glad I chose to cover it. It's kind of, I think I needed that in this moment, just as something to think about. And it's a very, very powerful piece. Thank you for joining me as well. I hope that you enjoyed that and that you were able to get something from it, whether it was Avi himself, in which case, goodness me, go and check out both him and the work that he does with Pentatonics. Or if it was this song, if you hadn't heard it yet, it only came out a month ago or so, give or take, as I'm recording this. It says 1 month on YouTube, but that's about a 3-week stretch. Or maybe you've heard this many times since it came out, and I just brought something to your attention that made you go, oh, that's actually really cool. I hadn't noticed that. Or that's why I like that bit. That's what I'm trying to do with these videos, and if I've managed to do that, then I'm a very happy man indeed. But yes, I really, really appreciate the time that you spend with me, so thank you very much for that. Please do hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. And if you would care to support the channel, you can head to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts. There you can leave a donation of any amount you choose, or you can choose to contribute to my wishlist item, which right now is a year's Adobe subscription, so that I can ensure that I keep the quality of these videos as strong as possible. You can also go to patreon.com/DavidKReacts, where you can sign on for $2 or $4 Canadian, or your local equivalent. And that is just a means of supporting the channel in an ongoing fashion. Fingers crossed I'll be doing a little more with that later in the year. I keep saying that, but I really genuinely do mean it. I just need life to calm down for a hot second. You could also get access to my Discord there, and your name will appear here with these other awesome patrons if it hasn't done already. Or you could leave a super thanks here on YouTube, and any of those would be very, very gratefully appreciated if you would choose to do them. That's about all there is for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, whatever time it is for you, afternoon, morning, evening, nighttime, I don't know. Meditation time, second breakfast. Why not? Second breakfast is great. So let's go for, I don't know, 10:43 a.m. See if someone is watching then. I really appreciate your time. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.